Coming back to Pastor Dikkel, we got a beautiful question for you before we come to a close. Do you think breakups have the same emotional impact? So I'll give you 2 minutes each now as we come to a close because there are some more questions left. Okay, do you think breakups have the same emotional impact on people as someone going through the real divorce itself?
Pretty much, it's the same similar concept. When someone is going through a divorce, the idea is there's what we call is a tearing away. Okay, like Pastor said, there's a glue and there's tearing away. So anything you glue actually together and you try to tear it away, there's a remnant, there's elements which need healing. But the most people don't realize is that now if you go through breakup after breakup, for example, you go into a relationship, it doesn't work, okay, let's break up. So what is happening is you are creating the scenarios where I want to join with that person, but maybe not so still. They're just tearing something away. So I always believe this, that whenever we are in this situation, we need to have this thought established beforehand. If I'm going to see someone, okay, do I say that word see someone? The intention should first and foremost be to marry that. It shouldn't start with, let's see where this goes. Okay, it's never, let's see where this goes and then we'll see where we end up. No, it's always, I want to see that person because I have an intention to marry that person. Okay, and if, for example, in order to avoid all these breakups and all these things, have boundaries set beforehand. Okay, have people in your life that know about these relationships. Okay, that will help you to avoid these emotional attachments beforehand. Don't get yourself in a place where you are so emotionally attached that it is same thing as looking like, you know what, we are having the benefits of marriage. So if you have the benefits of marriage, you're going to have the benefits of divorce as well. Okay, so those attachments needs to...
Very, very true. That's very deep. So think about that. It's really powerful. Pastor Felix, why is it biblically wrong to marry an unbeliever? I'll read that again for the benefit of the listeners. Why is it biblically wrong to marry an unbeliever?
I'll go biblically.
Okay, sir.
So second Corinthians 6:14 says, do not be unequally yoked together with the unbelievers. For what fellowship has righteousness with lawlessness? And what communion has light with darkness? So biblically, if we are marrying to an unbeliever, it's like you want to combine light with darkness, and that cannot happen. And when we go further down in 15, it says, what accord has Christ with Belial, the devil? And it's very strong when it comes with Christ. We are of Christ. If you are marrying an unbeliever, it's simply saying what is equal between a Christ and the devil. That means for biblically, it is wrong because we are crossing the boundary of protection, or we are crossing the boundary of Christ and going to the other land. So in 1 Kings 11:2, it says something like this: you shall not mingle with them, the unbelievers. Actually, it was talking about the Canaanites, the Israelites, and I would say unbelievers. Neither shall they mingle with you. So it's both sides. You don't give your daughters, even you don't take their daughters for your sons. For surely they will turn away your heart after their God. That means when you are equally yoked with unbeliever, they will surely, the Bible is saying that surely they will turn your heart towards their God. So that's why it's biblically wrong. We should not yoke with them. Otherwise, see, it's like for example, the man is a position power. So if you're giving the daughters to them, he will have the position power to pull you that side. And the woman have also influence power. So either way, that one, the woman will be influencing to my side. Acha, this side you did it, why don't we do this? So what will happen, the more you start doing that, your heart, that's what God is saying, your heart will turn towards their God.
Amen. That is really something to think about, because there's a lot of questions about that with a lot of churches and a lot of believers who are thinking, well, I don't find right partners here in the church. Let me go among the Philistines to find myself a Delilah. And Delilahs have a great anointing to pull out your eyes and get your hair cut and you will be going and serving them. No, dangerous place. Okay, Pastor Nikhil, do you think believers today fear unnecessarily too much about marriage? Is there an uncalled for fear about marriage, or is there society portrayed marriage in such a fearful way that now in church that has become a norm?
Yes, in many places. We see this over time because you will see if you go out to the average age, people get married. Before it was very younger. It's grown up and now drastically it's gone very high. So it just shows that people are avoiding the situation. But the thing is, why is this come about? Is because now we've created other options. Okay? Before, society will never accept you to have a relationship, in a living relationship. If you want to meet my daughter, you have to have this idea of I'm going to get married. There was no option that you go, we go, we'll spend some time and something's going to happen. No, there was never all this option and ideas. So what has happened is because we've culturally moved on, is now people are creating these options for them, whatever they want, however they want, because society tells this is okay, this is normal. And now what has happened is that people are so much fearing because they have no idea what direction should I go. Because we are so consumed by, like when we talk about marriage, people will say 95 wrong things, only 5 good things. Okay, so what has happened is that that idea is now being in place so very much ingrained that experiences show. I saw my brother, he got a divorce. I saw my father hit my mother. I saw this. So everything tells you this is not going to work out. So what is happening is that we are so consumed by the thing that is not going to work out that we tend to, you know what we do? We focus so heavily on the 1% to find the people that it is very, very hard. And what is happening is that we say, you know what, if this is not satisfied, I'm never going to be married. If this is not satisfied, I'm not going to make it. If this is not okay, I'm not going to marry. We keep on enforcing this, I call this enforcing yourself in a situation that is impossible. You are creating your own impossibility by creating so many fears that it won't work out. And what happens is because you are so consumed by that, as soon as you get married, it doesn't work out. Because you've already planned that it's not going to work out. You've already settled in your heart, this is not going to work out. So the first moment when the first fight happens, which it always happens. Okay, it is always going to happen. And the first moment the fight happens, you are reminded, see, it's not going to work out. And you start diverting away. And this is why these fears have overcome you. Okay, so you need to avoid getting these fears and start finding out relationships that actually work. See, these things actually work. Marriage will work. Okay, everyone has to make the effort. There is no such thing as a perfect person. Okay, but there is a perfected marriage. You won't find perfect people around waiting for you. I've got a 100-point list. I'm going to match 100 out of 100 or 99 out of 100 or 90 out of 100. You will end up with 10 out of 100. And if you are 10 out of 100, be satisfied and work it to the 100.
Amen. That's very true. Because God ordained marriage, and whatever God has ordained works. I'll say that again. Whatever God set into motion, sun, day, moon, stars, winter, summer, who set it? God. Whatever God sets to work, works. It's man's brains that needs to be renewed. That's the problem. Okay, Pastor Felix, we come to the last question for you, Pastor. Pastor Felix, if you could quickly tell us something because of the time. I know we have to also be careful of your time aspect, but we will take just a few more minutes before we finish. Pastor Felix, should dating, as I know Pastor Nikhil said, because that's become a kind of a norm, but before, like if somebody comes for my daughters, of course, you know what I'm going to say. What he just said. I'm an old-fashioned guy, and my wife is more old-fashioned than I am, and we will have every input in that. No, what I'm saying is, should dating, as according to what most people say, should dating have godly and wise boundaries?
I believe yes. There have to be boundaries and should have boundaries, because what happened and when we say about dating, it should be for a short time even before you get married. So it should be good boundaries there, because if no boundaries, you can go either way. So boundaries will be there which will keep you pure, and wise will, I would say wisely, when you will be there, whenever two of you will be found anywhere, somebody will be there with you who will be accountable or accountability for both of you. So it's wise to have somebody there because as you were saying, I believe that when two of them comes together and if nobody is accountable for them and they are in dark and they want to pray about both of them want to pray and they touch each other's hand, then the current will go. Like I always say, like this, like when we see the lights up here, because all the cables, the copper cables are hidden there. So they don't touch each other. But when you see a naked cable and when they are far away, very good. When they come together, very bad. We will see the current. So it's between a boy and a girl. They are both like this. And I believe God has made that way. That's why He has instituted marriage and then to come together. So when dating and dating wisely and godly way and boundary, it is very important for us because we won't go or we won't cross the border where what should not be crossed. Because what will happen while dating, if we, like sometimes people do date and after that they separate, and if it's they go more deeper in that, then there are a lot of things have come as we have heard.
Very true. Mostly dating today is more about getting together to have sexual intimacy. That's kind of become the mindset that we need to break. Mostly the main part of dating, when I said that there should be boundaries, I was thinking as soon as the word dating comes, they should come under the law, not grace. They should follow the law of the letter, not the grace, because grace means everything is free. Okay, Pastor Nikhil, quickly in these few minutes, could you please give us, please give the unmarried a few points in choosing godly partner for life? Just a few points so that they can know.
So if you're coming to JCLM, you know the two J's. Everyone know the two J's, Jesus and Job. Right. Okay, so those things are established. But when we're looking for partners, I believe that you have to find people that you can add to. I know a lot of people want people to add to their life. Everyone wants to find a partner that will add to their life. When will you be an addition? It says, God says, it's blessed more to give than to receive. When you have this idea, when a relationship is working, when marriage is working, the idea that, everyone is giving to the relationship, giving to the marriage, it always works. So, how I believe you have to find people, you have to think about people as they are. In the sense, you have to look at people and imagine themselves who they really are. Because you are trying to find someone from the tip, like we say. So for the tip, there's certain things obviously you want to establish in life. You want someone who believes God. You want someone who probably doesn't drink, who doesn't have these habits. But you also want someone who is teachable and changeable. If you find someone in your life who says, this is who I am for the rest of my life, you are in a big trouble. Marriage, day one, starts with change. That's what happens. Both the people start changing and becoming to make it. I like this example where God taught me, people are looking, the word says, there's a weaker vessel and there's a stronger vessel. So I'll just go quickly into that. So when you look at a vase, okay, so if I give you a vase and it's a plastic vase, a very cheap plastic vase, and I put it on this table, okay, and then the way you treat it, you will say, okay, even if it falls, nothing's going to happen. Right or wrong? Okay, so you just put it down. Even if it falls, nothing happened. But now I give you one big, 1 meter, fully glassed, fully crystal vase, and I put it on this table. What you will do is you will work around the vase to make sure nothing happens to it. So you will have this idea that I am protecting the vase from falling down. So you will have the little children here. Children, stay away. You will do it beforehand. If there's a plastic one, you'll say, okay, let's go. So that's how a relationship is. When you give honor to each other, I believe that is the most important thing when you're looking for people. Do you find them honoring you? Do they find honoring you as a person? For example, your human being. For example, how you are treating yourself. Are they honorable to say, you should be actually looking after yourself? Or are they saying that, it doesn't matter what you do, everything's okay. See, the idea of honor should be established. That is when you will find people who will have honorable marriages. If you can find people with honor. That's one of my things.
Oh, that's very beautiful. Thank you, Pastor Felix and Pastor Nikhil. This has really been good.